It's Nightside with Dan Ray on WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
Well, there's a very interesting development in order that was issued by the Consumer Protection Safety Commission. And we have the lawyer who has actually been the person here who has forced Amazon, one of the biggest companies in the world, into a position where Amazon is now being ordered to reveal dangerous products. Don Fountain, he's a trial attorney, leading product defect attorney whose landmark cases have transformed safety standards across multiple industries. Counselor, welcome to Nightside. This sounds like a big victory for the consumer.
Thank you for having me. Yes, and you're right. It is a big victory. I can't take credit for this. This is the Consumer Product Safety Commission finally bringing Amazon to the table to make them a critical part of product safety in this country.
Okay, I misread, and I might have been under the impression that that you were representing parties in the case. Explain to us. Well, let me just kind of cut to the chase a little bit here. Obviously, Amazon sells everything, and they're a huge, huge company, one of the biggest companies in the world. And this order from the Consumer Protection Safety Commission basically says to Amazon, if you ship something and it's a dangerous product, you have a responsibility. It's just not the person who sells the product. You have become the conveyor of that product, and therefore there's a obligation for you to be involved in the remediation of hazardous products, as I understand it. Am I fairly accurate in what I've just described?
Is Amazon is now an official legal distributor of products.
Yes.
That's an important term because under the law, a distributor now has an obligation to keep track of safety trends, keep track of recalls, and to notify their customers about them.
Okay, so how does Amazon get hooked into this? And let me just play devil's advocate for a second, because you know more about this case than I do. I am a lawyer, but this is your area of expertise. How does Amazon get hooked in where, let's say, I don't know, UPS or FedEx, or for that matter, the U.S. mail, as I read the materials that were sent to me, are not impacted?
That's a good question. And for years, Amazon said, we don't want to be a part of the safety program in this country. We're just like the United States Postal Service or FedEx. We just deliver goods to consumers. And this has been going on since 2021. The Consumer Product Safety Commission said, no, your online marketplace qualifies you as a distributor. And as a distributor, you are now part of the safety matrix in this country. Okay. You need to keep track of recalls, and you need to let the consumers know about them.
So that's the distinction that was drawn, which is interesting. I'm kind of proud of the fact that I raised an issue that at least has been part of the consideration in this case. So the reality is, let us assume you order something from Amazon, and let's say it costs $50, and it's a toy or a product that is found to be dangerous. Amazon then has to refund the money you paid Amazon, and I assume they in turn paid the producer of the product some monies. So Amazon now, as the middleman, has to reimburse the buyer and then probably chase the producer, the original seller, for their money. So there's a lot of obligation now on Amazon here. Maybe this is going to force Amazon to reconsider the type of products that it advertises on its website.
Yeah, you're right. So Amazon now has the contractual ability to make sure the manufacturers are ultimately responsible and to encourage them to make their products safer. What I do want you to know is that right now, if you go to Google and you type in Amazon recall and safety alerts,
yep,
it'll take you directly to the Amazon website page, and it will tell you, click here to see if any of the products you have purchased have a safety recall or a safety alert. It's a one-click thing. You can do it.
Again, great for the consumer. Did Amazon try to litigate the whole concept of privity of contract here and say, look, we're really not involved in this in any way, shape, or form? I assume that they must have raised that as an issue unsuccessfully.
Yeah. For many years, Amazon took the position that they are not a distributor. They're simply like FedEx and the Postal Service.
Okay.
So they don't have this obligation. And they were fairly successful in many of the courts around the country. And in 2021, the Consumer Product Safety Commission stepped in and litigated the issue and finally resolved it in the consumer's favor.
Is Amazon obviously is going to have to comply. Do you think that there's further appeals that Amazon, obviously an administrative agency, has made a determination? I assume that determination is always going to be potentially appealable in federal court.
I guess they could, but here's what I'll say. This became effective on January 26th of this year, just a few days ago.
3 days ago, 5 days ago.
Yeah. Sure. Yes, exactly. And I've already seen, a change in Amazon's website since then. So I'm hoping that, they're just going to let it go and be a part of the safety matrix to keep us all hopefully safer.
Yeah, and as I understand it, even in I didn't read this deeply. I apologize for that, but I do a lot of stuff. I drink from the fire hose every day. That if, let us say, the product that Amazon has shipped to you, there's some knowledge, public knowledge that the product is dangerous, and if someone discards the product, throws it out, and I guess some of this was, would be the pajamas that sometimes are flammable. I assume there could be some foodstuffs that Amazon would ship. Even if the end of the line consumer destroys the product, Amazon's still going to be in the hook for that, because if the consumer destroys the product, there's no product for Amazon to send back to the distributor. So Amazon's going to have to, I assume, build this into their costs of doing business.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I want you to know that Amazon has probably already done that. The ruling originally came out in January of 2024. Okay. But the Consumer Product Safety Commission gave Amazon a year to kind of get the system in place. So during the last year, they've probably already taken care of this contractually.
Fascinating case. It's amazing, and it sounds to me like something that's going to benefit consumers at a number of levels. But I'm hoping that as a consumer, that Amazon is a little more careful about what products they advertise and they ship. I would hope that is the big win for consumers here.
I have the same hope, and I also hope that Amazon will use its tremendous power over its manufacturers to say, you better make your stuff safe, because we have an obligation now to report defects and problems, and we don't really want to be doing that every day.
That's great. Well, Attorney Fountain, great to talk with you. A lot of attorneys don't do well in the media, but you explained it so well. You got to be really good in a court of law with that ability to articulate and simplify and make people understand. I bet you're pretty good in front of juries. Thank you so much.
My mother says I am. So
yeah. We all learn to expect that, but no, I really mean that, and that's not an off-the-cuff comment. I deal with lots of lawyers who are pretty good litigators, but sometimes on the radio they lose that ability to succinctly explain the issues in front of them or in front of the audience. And you did it exceptionally well, and that is not an off-the-hand compliment. That's genuine compliment from my end. I do this professionally as a broadcaster. And I was never very comfortable in court. I was always on watching my P's and Q's. This is the court of public opinion, and I'm real comfortable here. I wish I was this comfortable in trial cases. Thank you so much, Counselor. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Bye-bye.